Good evening, Steelers Nation. You got it. The FTA is in charge of the house for the first post game of 2025. And I got a surprise for you boys and girls tonight. And it's not just about the victory against the Jets. Stay tuned. I'm going to tell you all about it.
Welcome to the Steelers Realm Podcast. And now, here are the boys of Steelers Realm.
Good evening, Steelers Nation, and welcome to another episode of the Steelers Realm, where I have a producer that is still learning how to produce.
Yep. Producing the good content.
And my special guest, if you guys are watching, you can't see him. You know why? Because the producer has him backstage in the green room. So I'm going to bring him on right now without further ado.
On my screen. Come on, man.
I tell you.
I'm sorry, but Freight Train, you have to get off the train and get in the show.
Two things. One, it's really, really great to be back. I truly miss this. And for two, Nolan, you're like the Steelers defense, man. You didn't get enough snaps in preseason because you are rusty as hell.
Come on, man. It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress. Week 1, work in progress. I think that's what we're going to coin this show, is the work in progress, because we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, because that's about all there really is to talk about this game. Yes, we got a victory. It was 34-32.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to tell you what I'm more excited about, and before we talk about anything, is it not refreshing to see us put up over 30 points?
Man, that was like a breath of fresh air, man. It looked like a completely different offense. Like, you had things that were actually like on time, like a quarterback that knew how to switch things at the line of scrimmage, or at least was given the reins and the opportunity to change things at the line of scrimmage. There's certainly things on the offensive side of the ball I'd like to see him do more, like run the ball, which we probably get into that. But all in all, this was a breath of fresh air on the offensive standpoint.
Man, that might have been the best QB play I've seen in, 5 years or so. Rodgers looked great. He was controlling the line of scrimmage, making audibles when he needed to. He looked great out there, getting the ball to DK or whoever. Amazing job out there.
The only thing, guys, is when you put up 34 points, you kind of like to hope that your number one highest paid defense in the NFL can hold the team to less than 34 points. And thank God we did. We only held them to 32.
Yeah. It's like the same old thing keeps on repeating itself. How many years in a row with Terrell Austin as the defensive coordinator have we said the zone coverage on his defenses is way too spread out, and he's letting these quarterbacks pick them apart? Freaking Justin Fields looked like Dan Marino out there against the zone coverage. I mean, basically could have whatever he wanted. You know, when you're gapped up that far, it's no wonder these are easy completions. The defenders can't get to the person that they're trying to cover. You know, it's just they got to get that short up.
Well, I tell you what, I'm glad you brought that up, because you want to know what we're going to start off talking about today. First of all, we're going to start talking about our quarterback, Justin Fields. Pull up the spray chart.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, you know, the guy that we let walk away in preseason. The guy that couldn't complete a pass, the guy that couldn't read a defense, the guy that couldn't throw NFL touches, and the guy who, for whatever reason, we couldn't throw over the middle. Now, I only want to touch this out, guys, because at the end of the day, not that I'm a homer for Justin Fields or anything, but when I look at the spray chart for Justin Fields, and again, remember, the producer, this is his first day. So as you're looking at Aaron Rodgers' pass chart, We're going to pretend it's
There we go.
Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second, producer, you were able to figure it out? And by the way, anybody who is looking for a producer out there, remember, this young man has just graduated with a bachelor's degree. He's highly sought after in the marketing field today. Please come hire him. All right. With that being said, producer, do you have something for me?
I would take that as a no.
I don't see it. Where'd it go?
How do you not? How do you,
Folks,
not
if you're looking for him to run the show, let's just leave him behind the desk in the office in his own cube. Okay. Let's not unleash this any more than it's already been unleashed on this show.
Oh my God, he looks lost. But okay, so what I wanted to touch, 16 for 22, man. I mean, 16 for 22, 218 yards, 1 touchdown. Now, he avoided sack after sack after sack and scored it out of some tough situations, and not to mention threw a couple of 125-mile-an-hour fastballs straight down the middle.
Mm-hmm. He looked like a young Brett Favre out there.
He looked like a young Brett Favre out there. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know if he's finally found his groove, but the Jets definitely seen more in him and were able to utilize him than what we ever did. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this. Wait a second, Freight Train. For all of you at home watching, he found him. I'm so proud of you. He is growing up in front of our eyes. Wow. You buy him books, clothes, send him to school, and this is what you get, folks. This is top notch right here. Tune in next week because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm growing up just like Justin Fields did. He looked like an actual quarterback, but I don't know how.
Well, not only that, but if you look at the chart, I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passes over the middle. In the 4-2 record that he provided us last year, in those 6 games, he was lucky if he had 6 passes over the middle.
Yeah. Well, this is a testament to coaching that fully buys into a quarterback within the system and lets them play quarterback to their strengths. I think Justin Fields' strength is the ability, the escapability, to extend plays, which he did quite a bit. But he also has a very good arm if teams would just allow him to use it, and he has valuable weapons. He's got the Breece Hall that can catch the ball out of the backfield, and Garrett Wilson looked a lot better than he did last year with Russell Wilson. Don't let me say that name again. With Justin Fields, they had that commodity that they had in Ohio State. They brought it now to the New York Jets. So you have some familiarity there with your top weapon and now your quarterback.
Yeah, he had several good throws, and he brought up Breece Hall. I don't know why he looked like prime Barry Sanders out there. I don't know what's going on, but we stopped them somehow at the end there.
Well, and let's face it here, guys. We were only able to get to him one time. He ended up having a passer rating of 119.
Mm-hmm.
119.
But we saw flashes of this last season. Like, I feel this isn't a surprise. We were saying this the first 6 games of last season, and we were banging on the head to put him back in when we went on that 5-game, 6-game losing streak to end the season. Stop being a cheap ass and be willing to spend a 4th-round draft pick on a franchise quarterback. Quit falling in love with only having to give up a 6th-round draft pick. We've seen flashes of this last season. They just didn't buy into him.
So, now the only reason I wanted to bring up Justin Fields and I wanted to put up a miraculous day that he had, because this is where we're going to talk about the ugly, all right? Because the ugly side of this is that our defense got gashed, not only by 218 yards passing from Justin Fields, making him look like the second coming of Joe Namath, but we picked up right where we left off in the Ravens game and allowed them to run for 182 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, all right. Is it coaching? Is it Terrell Austin? Is it Mike Tomlin meddling? I find it hard to believe that it's a veteran defensive backfield. I
Yeah.
find it hard to believe that it's defensive or our inside linebackers. Now, our inside linebackers, we're built more for speed than we are tackling. I will say that, but it's not like they can't get to the ball. There were a couple missed tackles by Patrick Queen. There were a couple of missed tackles by Peyton.
The missed tackles were everywhere.
They
That was
they
every position.
they absolutely were everywhere. So, who do you put this blame on? Because again, if we've got a quarterback who's going to put up a rating of 136, guys, 136, 22 for 30, 244 yards, and may I add in there 4 touchdowns. Do you guys know when was the last time we had a 4-touchdown game?
That would have
3
been
years.
Big Ben at some point.
How about Russell Wilson? I thought Russell Wilson in Cincinnati. Wasn't that 4 touchdowns or was that 3?
I don't remember.
It could have been.
But
I think it was 3. I think it was 3.
it might have been 3. So now we're back to Big Ben.
Yeah.
My point to being is, and then if you look at the spray chart, kind of looks like a little bit of a dink and dunk there. Where did it go, producer?
Oh, that's Fields.
It was Fields again.
I don't know why it's off.
But the yards after a catch was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, TA, I'm going to try to slice and dice because brought up a couple different points. To the defense comment that you made, I honestly think it's schematically. It's like they couldn't figure out how they were going to play Justin Fields. Like, I feel when you face somebody like Justin Fields, you got to take one thing away. You're either going to take his running capabilities away or you're going to take his wide receivers away. It was like we were trying to schematically try to do both, and that just doesn't work when you have a quarterback that can scramble like that. Your spacing is going to be way too far out, and that's why those running lanes were open so much. They were able to run it all down our throats because the spacing on your defense was too large. You're not focusing singularly on one aspect of the game that you're going to neutralize. That's the problem that they ran into yesterday. I think it was just a shitty game plan and shitty coaching, getting your team ready on the defense side of the ball for week 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't like what I saw either. It was tough to watch, man. I mean, especially when.
But the tackling thing is what needs to be shored up for sure. That's the most important thing. You got to be able to tackle.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why nobody could tackle.
That could have been neutralized into smaller plays if they could have just tackled.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Okay, so where does that start, guys? I mean, we're fresh off of training camp. Is that not where we learn how to tackle?
Well, the problem is it's the problem with the veteran defense. These guys aren't practicing like the younger guys are. Cam Hayward barely practiced. He barely even played.
Man, I was going to say, it looks like it's belly on him now. I don't think he's practicing the whole season.
They need to have more reps in the preseason for them to mesh together. It's a defensive unit. They have to be able to play together. You got some new faces, some nuances to this defense. I don't think there was enough time and enough valuable game experience, game speed to get them ready for game 1 to face a team like the Jets. There's a lot of speed on the Jets. I don't think they were ready for it.
All right, so let's even take this a little one step further and deeper. If we would have done that, would the outcome have been the same? Meaning that would we have given up even more? Right now, we had the surprise element, the surprise attack. Jets had no idea what we were coming out in, how we were going to defend them. Nothing of that. All they had was last year's footage. Okay, if we would have provided that to them in preseason, would we have seen a different outcome, like potentially a loss?
Yes, it would have been different because you would have seen what was wrong with what you were putting out onto the field. You could have ran different things to see that, okay, this quarterback is basically completing every single pass against our zone coverage. Let's shore that up. Our tackling is awful. We need to shore that up. You can't just figure out you don't know what's wrong with your football team until you play a football game. You play in a real game.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have seen that, on all honesty, in spring training, especially when we went up against Tampa Bay? Because you
You're
had
not
the
going to see that
once.
with your starting with Jack Sawyer starting in place of T.J. Watt
No,
and
no, no, no,
whoever the
no.
hell else
In
was
in
starting
in
in.
no, at practice, it was one against ones, which was why Tampa decided not to go with their ones and the Steelers decided not to go with their ones because they had seen enough of it during the week.
I think it's so vanilla. That's the problem. There's not enough. You don't have enough of an eye test in those as you do in a game speed game. You're
In
not
a
going
game
game
speed
speed in
game.
practice. We're
I
talking
mean,
about
I get the scheme's not the best, but we were losing in the trenches. I mean, we were getting pushed around. I mean, their offensive line was killing ours. I mean, that's not schematic. That's just we didn't want it as much as they did.
But on the flip side of that though, I do have hope just because it is a veteran defense. I feel like these guys know they've been around each other, whether it be Pro Bowl, they know each other. So, and they were alluding to it, I think, on the broadcast of how they can be honest with each other. Hey, this is what we're doing wrong. This is you need to be here. I have faith that they'll be able to shore this up by next week or the
Well,
week after. But
well, I hope they can because, I mean, let's face it, we got gouged by Brees Hall for 107. Justin Fields tacked on another 48 on us, right?
even the backup running back had a good yards per carry average.
Well, Isaiah Davis had 18 and Braylon Allen only had 9. I mean, he averaged like 1.5. His longest, he had one run for 8 yards that kind of skewed that against us. But then you had Garrett Wilson. Man, he was 5 yards away from 100 yards, guys. 5 yards away. Then
He
you had
tore
Brees Hall.
seriously on that touchdown.
Yes. I mean, and then the tight end, I'll tell you what, the tight ends saved Justin Fields in a lot of different areas. A lot of different areas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember the one where he threw it into triple coverage to Rodgers. That was the one I saw.
And Rucker came down with it. I don't know how he threaded that needle, but it was threaded in there.
It was put in the only spot he could put it.
And I'm not even sure. I don't know if that was skill or luck.
It was just luck. He throws those all the time. They usually get intercepted.
It just seemed like our defense was one step behind. They were one step behind on every play, for the most part. There were flashes of, okay, this is the true defense that we know they can be capable of, but 60% of that, they were just a step behind on everything.
Well, look, your playmakers that you hope for tackles for losses were in there. Alex Highsmith had one. Peyton had one. Cam had one. TJ had 2. Even Chuck Clark, who came in for Deshaun Elliott, which was a huge blow to us to see him go down with a torn ACL and done for the year.
Yeah.
Come in and spot and did a great job. So it wasn't like we weren't getting into the backfield. I mean, even Highsmith had 3 quarterback hits. Queen had 1. Wilson had 1. Ramsey even had 1. I mean, we were getting there. I just don't think we were there fast enough.
Yeah. Well, did you see Ramsey's play to end the game? The boom that was probably the best part.
Well, let's face it, that was fitting because
That won the game.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see that more and more throughout the entire year. And just to go ahead and put the correction in here, guys, Freight Train is the winner tonight. It was the last game we threw for 4 touchdowns was October 11th, 2020 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Would you like to take a guess on who caught all 4 touchdowns?
Chase Claypool.
I remember it now.
Chase Claypool caught all 4 touchdowns, and then after that, we didn't hear nothing from him. That was his highlight of his NFL career right
Yeah.
there, Megatron. That was the eruption of Megatron and the
Mapletron.
backside of it.
Mapletron.
Mapletron, that's it.
Yeah.
Mapletron, right?
Mapletron.
The Canadian wonder.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So now let's go ahead and let's jump over into the offensive side of the ball. All right. We're going to save Aaron for last. I want to talk about the rushing attack. All right, guys. We had Kenneth Gainwell, who by all means looked like he had a really, really good game. He went 7 for 19 at a 2.7 average. We had Jalen, who went 11 for 37. Again, not too bad. But at the end of the day, we just could not get our offense rolling at all.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's like we played Gainwell the whole first half and then switched to Warren when we saw it obviously wasn't working when you play your third string running back to start the game over the guy you just paid last week. I didn't understand that at all. That was weird.
Yeah, but that wasn't even really the case either. When you look at what it was spread out between the two, I mean, Jalen played 2 snaps more than what KJ did. Or
It was like a
KG
first
did.
and second half split
But
pretty much.
the problem I have though is when you look at the historical data, that should be a 60-40 split. There's more boom with Jalen Warren being on the field than Kenneth Gainwell. I'm sorry to say. And we saw that in the fourth quarter when Jalen got it going. You know, he is the integral part of this offense. He is what is a key cog in this offense. As much as we want to say it's Aaron Rodgers or it's DK Metcalf or Freiermuth, you know, Jalen Warren is the key cog in this because he's a double-edged sword. Good runner. There's no dancing back there. He's going to help wear down defenses, and he makes plays in the passing game. I mean, that was a huge reception by him in the fourth quarter to keep that drive moving to help us get the lead. There's way more boom with Jalen Warren being on the field than there is Kenneth Gainwell. I don't know if it's maybe Kenneth Gainwell is a better pass blocker. That's why he was in there more because it seemed, I mean, Aaron Rodgers had 30 attempts. So I don't know if that seems to be the issue of why he was on the field so much more that, you know, Jalen only having 2 more snaps than him. But to me, I think the main thing is to keep Jalen Warren on the field because ultimately he's your best playmaking running back you have on the roster.
I mean, yeah, he's probably the most explosive player out, one of them. I mean, we also had Jonas Smith, who scores a touchdown, and then we don't really use him ever again. I remember it was the first series of the game. We forgot to Pat Freiermuth if he gets a game saving, he gets the third down for us, and then boom, we never see him again. It's like we have these explosive players, but we just don't use them for whatever reason.
All right, but okay, so I got to counteract that. Jonas Smith was targeted 6 times for 5 receptions.
It might have been the final drop.
That's Aaron Rodgers spreading the ball. That's how Aaron Rodgers is.
I think we saw him, and then it wasn't until like the final drive we saw him again. He got a lot at the end there.
But I mean, how are you supposed to see him when you have a DK Metcalf, you have a Calvin Austin, and let's face it, right there, DK Metcalf targeted 7 times, 4 receptions. He had a couple of bad drops, guys. Let's be honest. He had a couple bad drops, but he still ended up with 83 yards. Calvin Austin, 6 targets for 4 receptions for 70 yards. I mean, that was both of them. One had a 31-yarder, the other one had a 30-yarder. Then you had Pat Freiermuth. You know what? He had 3 targets, and he caught all 3. Skowronek. Now, was that not a sweet play to go ahead and throw Ben in the mix when nobody expected it?
No, nobody thought he was going to get the ball. Nobody.
Let alone to go ahead and score.
Right.
I mean, so I guess when you look at this, I thought that Aaron did a really good job of spreading the ball out. But more importantly, to what you were saying, Freight Train, all right, we want to see it 60-40, Warren over Gainwell. All right, maybe. But at the end of the day, this was a balanced offense that Arthur and Rodgers ran.
Well, we just need to be able to run the ball better, which I think happens if you start Jalen Warren at the start of the game, unlike you instead of the second half.
But TA, yeah, Arthur will get credit for that balanced attack, but I'm wondering how much of this is actually Aaron Rodgers and how much truth to what we heard from the Steelers in the offseason of having that veteran quarterback that knows how to pick apart defenses and has the quick wits. Let's talk about the 12th man call that Aaron Rodgers drew for us that was huge on one of the drives. I don't think any of our quarterbacks the past 4 years would have been smart enough to snap the ball with a fourth man on defense. I'm wondering if Arthur's like, hey, here's 2 to 3 plays. You read it, you go with the best call, because it seemed like every drive Aaron Rodgers was changing play. I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
Well, you could definitely see he had a set list of what to be able to call when he got up to the line. And you're right, for him to walk out there and see that there were 12 men on the field and to pull that off, that was
That's
spectacular.
Huge. Yeah.
But let's really be honest. The biggest thing that changed this game was the one turnover. The one turnover that allowed us to have short field advantage that pulled us right back into the game.
Which was Gainwell. Wasn't Gainwell?
Gibson fumbled. Who got it?
But Gainwell caused it.
Caused the fumble.
Gainwell caused the fumble.
Picked it up.
Absolutely. That was the turning point. And then, did anybody expect Boz to kick a 60-yarder open?
I had to.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, I thought he could make it from 70 if he had to.
It's the best kicker in the league. I knew he had it.
He is. MVP. You want to know what I liked even more out of that? Is that the guy who caught the football was up against the fence, meaning that's another 10 yards. He might have been.
Oh, it would have been 70.
From 70.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Boswell is getting better with age. He is like a fine wine and remains to this day to be this team's MVP. So forget about Rodgers, forget about Jalen or Warren or Metcalf. It's always down to the Boz.
Kicker's one of the most important positions on a football team.
Absolutely. So to the Boz, I give the Boz this game, guys.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this game, it was one on special teams with that fumble on the kickoff, and then Boz making that field goal. So I mean,
yeah, because prior to those two, this game probably wasn't getting won, and we would have been singing a different tune here than what we are right now. So now the question is, in a quick wrap up, what do we need to see before next week? And go ahead, producer. I'll let you go first.
Oh, well, we need to see the defense actually show up next week. I'm hoping they actually learn how to play defense or do something throughout the week. Tell them to make them run sprints for how bad they played. I mean, it was just horrendous. So if they can show up next week and actually play some defense, I think they could go a long way, especially since this offense is starting to hum.
All right, Freight Train, you got it.
I think mine is I don't want to see this high-scoring affairs every single week. I want to see us use the run game more and win the time of possession battles. I think that's ultimately what could have caused the defense to have somewhat of a collapse, because they were on the field a lot. They had a lot of snaps this game, for the first game of the season. So I want us to control, the game, the possession arrow more on our side than we did this game.
All right. And you want to know what I want to see? I want to see us concentrate on the trenches, and more so Broderick Jones. He was ate up and annihilated and damn near got our quarterback out in the first game of the season. Broderick Jones has got to improve his game over there at left tackle, and we have to be able to stop the run. Now, I thought that Yaya or YA, however you want to say it, Mr. Black, went ahead and played a great game for coming in there in the 5th round. We could sit here and argue would Derek Harmon have done better. I think Benton needs to step up. I think Cam needs to step up a little bit, but we need to win that in the trenches.
Mhm.
Oh, it was
Is
Benson who
where it
dropped a
is.
pick too, if I remember.
Yeah, but look, man, when you're 300 pounds and you're
I know.
going to the ground, that's like a big guy squirting out a pimple. That
Right.
thing shot out there like, whew. He's lucky he didn't poke somebody's eye out.
Yeah. No, I agree. And at least we do have that to fall back on. Once we get Harmon back, that should help. It'd be like getting a free agent addition to the defense.
Mhm.
You can't not have enough big guys. To keep them fresh. That could be another reason. The depth just probably wasn't really there this game, so they were probably pretty gassed too.
Mhm.
Well, and one more big guy I'd like to see too next week on the receiving, even if it is only for 10 yards, is I want to see Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was really in on run plays. Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, we got to get the big guy
Well, when you got
involved and see
6
what he
tight
can
ends
do.
on your roster, it's hard to give everybody blank time. I don't know what the love is with this team with having that many tight ends on this roster, but
Well,
We
look,
need more.
when you're
and I will
looking
say this:
for
Connor Hayward's going to be lucky that he has a job next week, and only probably because his brother's on the team.
look, when you have a team that everybody says you need a wide receiver number 2, you got to have 6 tight ends.
We got a tight end number 6, man. Yeah,
Mhm.
but
Well, one thing, guys, I want to pose before we cut it short because we are back into the regular season, we're going to try to keep this between 30 and 45 minutes instead of going a little longer like we did. We're at that time right now. So I got to throw one more thing out there. With us losing an integral part of this defense and Deshaun Elliott, are we good with sticking with Juan Thornhill and Chuck Clark, or do we go for Simmons?
I say bring Beanie Bishop up. I don't understand why Beanie Bishop's not even on the team, anyways. I mean, he had a very good rookie season. I think he earned his chance on this football team. So I'm on the Beanie Bishop squad, man. I'm on that train.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
He had
Beanie
6
could
interceptions last year. 6.
look. Beanie could very well be up here, especially now that we don't know what's going to happen with JPJ and the hamstring,
Mhm.
because we all know a hamstring can linger.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Theoretically, is he done for the next 4 weeks? We
Mhm.
don't even know that. So we could be seeing JPJ, but does that mean we want to go ahead and put Jalen back there at safety and hamstring him in there, or bring Jalen in at safety and bring Beanie Bishop in at the slot? I mean, we're already talking about whether or not Austin can go ahead and coach us defense properly. And now we're talking about fixing a secondary in week 1. I mean, do you guys understand
I
what you're saying here?
I would not be opposed to bringing Simmons in by any stretch of the imagination. The guy plays at a Pro Bowl caliber level. You know,
Mhm.
at least he did in Denver. I didn't really keep up on what he did last season with the Atlanta Falcons, but
I mean, he's still fine with the Falcons. Still good. Still probably better than Chuck Clark or whoever we have out there.
but now you're walking on a fine line of what's too much veteran defense. You know what I mean? Because Simmons isn't that young anymore. So,
Is there anybody on our defense that young anymore?
well, yeah, there's some.
All right, so we're going to leave it at that. First of all, to our fans, I want to apologize tonight. A little excited trying to get this in the 30 minutes. Andre, great to hear from you. DJ, good to hear from you as well. Both of you guys, you're absolutely correct on that, man. We have a little bit of work to do. DJ, you're right. Broderick was horrible. The linebackers were a little bit of concern. We've definitely got to shore that up. Everybody was missing tackles, not just Clark. It was everybody. We definitely have to tighten that up. Also, like to go ahead and say a shout out to the girl from New York. We appreciate you taking care of our light work for us and hanging that first L on the Baltimore Ravens. Nothing better than watching a defense self-destruct in less than 5 minutes and go down 15 points when you're riding a nice cushion.
Just because we're making fun of AFC North opponents, how about I saw this picture today. You know how the Browns have that jersey with like the 40 different quarterback names on them? Now there's one. Now there's a kicker one. Dude, the amount of kickers that they've gone through. They missed another one, a game winner yesterday. They should have beat the Bengals.
They should have beat the Bengals. There's no doubt about it.
It's hilarious.
I tell you, look, if we're not careful, we're already up there to quarterback number 6. We're 4 away from starting our own T-shirt here real soon, too. I just want to throw that out there,
to how many nameplates can you change on the back of a number 8 jersey?
Right. All right, gentlemen, as usual, it's a pleasure. Steelers Nation, thank you for tuning in. Really, really enjoy you guys. Thank you for listening to us. Producer, by God, I hope you find a job soon.
Check back next week into the Steelers Realm.